Now the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see whether my bullet hits the actual alien. So to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on the timer. Now I only need to worry about it when the bullet is actually visible. So if I go to the timer here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to this point here where I've checked to see if my bullet is visible. Now, here is the code that I have written. Now, one of the things I've forgotten to do is I'm going to create a Boolean variable to show whether I've hit an object or not. So, at the top there, with my local variables, bool hit equals false. Now, a Boolean variable can have two values, either true or false. Now, it's quite useful to have a Boolean variable so I can detect to see if I've hit an object, because I'm actually going to run the same piece of code over and over again. Now, so I do that at the top of my timer move function with the other local variables, and let's put a little comment on there. Variable to show if I've hit object. So then, if I scroll down to the bottom, I need to go to the bit where I've tested to see if the bullet is visible. Okay. So, here, what I can do is, if the bullet is visible, what I can do is I'm going to do a little if statement to say if the bullet dot bounds dot intersects with the bounds of pick 1, then what I need to do is I need to make pick 1 invisible, and I'm going to make hit equal to true. Again, I'm going to do the same with picture 2. If pick bullet dot bounds intersects with pick bullet 2, then my visibility equals false and hit equals true. So if I show what happens there, let's turn it on. Let's see if I can hit one of these objects. Oops, I missed. Let's try again. Oh, I missed again. I'll get it this time. Oh. Finally got one. Now the only problem is that in actual fact, what I can do is I can actually hit the item more than once. Now you might not see that at the minute because I actually haven't got the code on for doing that. So what I want to do is I only want to hit the object if it bounds with it and the object pick 1 dot visible equals true, or double equals sign equals true. The next one, if it bounds and intersects with picture 2, and picture 2 is visible. And likewise, so I'm going to add an else if now for the number 3 and the number 4. So now, there's my big if statement. If open curly bracket, close curly brackets, for what happens if those conditions are true. Else if for item 2, if it hits its bounds and it's visible, open brackets, close brackets. Else if for picture 3 hits the bounds, its visibility is true, hit and that, and again the same. So if I run that there now, turn them on, click, and it should check to see. Oh, it went straight through the middle of them there. I think actual fact, what I've got here, if I look here, is I haven't changed my bounds on this one here. Oops, so I want a 3 and I want a 4. I've got 3 and a 4 on there. Now what I need to do now is say what I want to do if the item hits it. So if hit equals true, I want to do a score here now. So I'm going to do if hit equals true, what to do? Well, first of all, pick bullet, dot visible, equals false. So I make the bullet disappear. What I also want to do is I want to put the bullet back to where it came from. So I can do this in exactly the same way as I did when it goes off the top of the screen. So here I've already got the code somewhere, if I can find it, to show what happens. Here we go. If it goes off the top of the screen, let's copy that code there. I want to set it back to the location of the gun. Final thing is I want some kind of score. Now the score, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a global variable. At the top here, int score is equal to that naught. Now I've made that global because I don't want it to change every time the timer moves. But what I do want it to do is when I hit something, what I want to do is I want to make the score equal to score plus 10. Oh, missing a semicolon and a bracket from there. So if it's hit, I want to make the score equal score plus 10. Now what you could do is you could put a label on the form to display that score. I'm just going to put a message box for the time being. It's not the best way of doing it, but it will illustrate the point. And let's show this. Oops. Score and that's it. So that's what happens if I hit something. I should get, let's tab that along so it's in line. Let's put a little comment on here. Now you really should be putting comments on your code because you will forget what each bit does when you go back to look at it. This shows what happens if I hit an invader. Let's play and see what happens. Turn the timer on, fire, score is 10. Fire again, score is 20. Now I've got something wrong with my code because one of the invaders hasn't disappeared. score is 30, that invader isn't disappearing. So let's just have a little look here and see what I've done here. So I've got pick box 1 visibility equals false, pick box 2 visibility equals false. I need to change that to pick box 3 and a pick box 4. So if that is happening, what you probably find is that you've done something wrong with your numbering. So let's try again. 1. Let's see if I can get them all. Oh, I missed it. 2. 3. 4. Now I need some kind of reset option there so the invaders would start moving, but I'll leave you to sort that out yourselves.